leash pressure toward the front of the crate in order for her to learn that it feels better inside the crate than struggling outside of it. Crate, yes. And the second that she stepped in there, I layered over her decision to walk into the crate with the verbal cue crate, so that over time she learns that when you say crate, it means to move into this space. And I use the leash because dogs communicate using pressure. And so if the communication method is pressure, then the language is pressure and release. So by putting pressure this way on the leash, I'm not pulling her. I'm just simply holding the leash this way, and it's her decision whether she wants to pull back and add pressure on the leash. And when she does, she's gonna struggle. And then the second that she steps forward, it's gonna release pressure, and she's gonna learn that it feels better stepping in the crate and being in the crate as opposed to struggling outside. And that's the way that you get a dog conditioned to moving in the crate and wanting to be inside of the crate on their own, as opposed to using a treat method, because that's not really, there's no longevity behind that. The treat goes away, but the idea that the crate feels good doesn't go away, as long as, in addition to this, prior to putting her in the crate, I'm not putting a super hyped up, energized dog in the crate. We just went on a structured walk and did a lot of work together to get her mentally exhausted so that she is in the right state of mind to go into the crate and to learn that it is a place of rest and to re-energize, refuge, calm, peace, etc. And now see that she's settled in like this. I'm ignoring her. I'm not talking to her, nothing. I'm just talking to the camera. She settled down. And so I'm gonna open the crate. Shh. The second that she moves toward the crate door, even if it's just her nose, I'm gonna close the crate again, because I want her to learn that she has to have respect for this threshold and respect for all thresholds. So that means that she gets access to exit upon my giving her a cue. So it can be a release word of whatever you want. I usually just say, let's go. Hey. So door open, I want her to sit there, shh, shh, hey, shh. And I'll tap the crate. I'm not touching the dog with the crate. This is just putting spatial pressure on the dog. So the crate door is an extension of my own body. And it's not enough just to shut the door. So I've been working with her on this for a couple of days. Shh, shh. She's learned that that noise I'm making, that like harsh shh, shh, shh. She's moving back the way that I want her to. She's learned that that word shh means that I'm gonna put pressure on her. So she knows it means to move backwards, because I conditioned her to understand what that word means. If you're just gonna go up to your dog and say shh out of nowhere, they're not gonna do anything. So you have to give meaning to it. And I, over the last 3 or 4 days, have given meaning to that for her. So now you can see the doors open. And that's what I want from her, to be relaxed. So it's not, I'm not scaring her. If you look at her body language, she's just casually sitting in the back of the crate, wondering what it is she has to do in order to be let out of the crate. And so, shh. See, she stopped moving. That shh. But notice she's still learning 100% what that shh sound means. If I were to not move my hand toward her and put spatial pressure at the same shh, at the same time that I'm making that sound, which I'll do it next time and maybe she'll give in the way that I want to show like the contrast in the way that you do it. So if I didn't put my hand up or anything and I just gave the noise, she might not know enough at this point what that sound means. So she might have continued to move forward, which is why I still put pressure on the dog to some extent. So as you can see right now, I'm not holding her back, I'm not doing anything. The crate door is open and she's sitting back there, because just that couple of minutes of the back and forth, if she moves forward, I move forward. She moves forward, I move forward. Every time that she moved forward, I put pressure on, whether it was with my hand, my verbal cue, the shushing noise I was making, or the crate door. And the second that she moved backwards, I would immediately release the pressure, so that she's learning pressure on means I need to do something. And then when she did what I wanted, which was move back and give me and the crate door space, I released the pressure. So that release of pressure is capturing for her, oh, I need to settle back in the crate. And so that's how you condition the dog to understand, 1, the state of mind that needs to be had while in the crate, 2, the state of mind that needs to be had in order to receive and okay to be let outside of the crate. And so the reason that we teach threshold respect at all is because it's an opportunity for us to take advantage of an interaction that happens quite often with our dog every single day, in an effort to build our relevancy as a pack leader. And so pack leaders, they manage resources outside of resources that everyone knows of, like food, treats, etc. A resource that people often don't think of is space. So to allow her into this space has to go through me if I'm the pack leader. She's learning on the vessel for which everything in life comes from, even with just this small little interaction with her. And right now I'm just setting the foundation so that she can go home and this is a transferable behavior that she's learning. And so when she does this with her owners, it's their relevancy to her is going to build up. I just like took the legwork out of it, or most of the legwork. And so now that she's doing what I want her to do, she's hanging out back there. She might fall asleep because she's exhausted, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to look to get her eye contact, and she's falling asleep, so I'm going to say her name. Brooklyn. Brooklyn. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let her sleep because she's exhausted. But she's falling asleep and the crate door is open, so mission accomplished. And now I'm going to shut it. And notice she perked up, but it's not really a big deal. She's going to pass back out. You can tell by her face. And I'm going to shut this so that it's dark like a den, because dogs are denning animals. And she's going to take a nap.